Hi everyone, welcome back again to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise, and I hope you guys are all doing well. So making my way down the legal, looking at all the legal ramifications for the Trump crime family, today is devoted to Ivanka. So let me get the camera dropped down and we'll see what's coming her way. Okay, so I'm using the same book for Ivanka, or same book, I'm sorry, same deck. This is the book, the Card Geeks Kipper. Okay, and I do have the cards already shuffled, so let's do 21 cards for Ivanka. Okay, oops, she's right here. All right, so she's going to have, well, she's going to have, I think, a little more control over her future. But let's see. This is interesting. Whoa. 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 Okay. It's been such an interesting journey doing the adult children. Rather than, well, what started it was, well, I was really late to getting to start it, but when I did that first grand tableau for Trump, it went from like July 24th or 25th to September 25th. And of course, all the family members came up, using the Kipper, you have all those extra people cards. But I should have thought sooner, like, last month, to do each of the adult children to see how things would go. But anyway, so I'm late to the game, but I'm doing it. So this is Ivanka. She's the main character. Jared hasn't shown up here. This is one of her brothers. I don't know who this friend is. This would be a friend of hers, because she does not have a sister. This would be a brother card here. But anyway, these cards are behind her back, so they're not what they would call, well, if you read the way I do, this would not be considered auspicious. And I do this, the way the technique is Tony Pools. I have to give her credit for that. So that means that her reputation is not in a good place, and for a long time will not be. And maybe this is kind of just the general, because you don't always have to read the people cards as a person. It can be the just general energy. And of course, many people feel that she's like daddy's little girl, daddy's little rich girl. And same with her brothers, but what's not auspicious for her, what she will not have good fortune about, has to do with, of course, her past catching up with her, and the fact that she's been dishonest and deceptive, and it will affect her work in the future. And you know, her brothers as well, of course, because they're all a big part of the Trump crime family. This is not Jared. Jared would come in as the main character number 1 because he's her husband, so that's not Jared. But she does have more control because she's up here. She has control, but bad fortune coming behind her. But with her card being up here, but then again, she's exiting the reading, right? It would have been better if she were over here, and then all these cards we could say, or, you know, she can see. Like if she was over here, and let's say, you know, if this were flipped, she could see all this coming and she would know what to do. But it's not. It's coming behind her back. And so it could be that these are two, this could be one of her brothers. This could be not Don Jr., Eric's wife, Laura. This possible, this is Eric and Laura, who, you know, who maybe, I mean, we all know they're all flipping on each other like crazy. They'll do whatever they can to take care of themselves because that's who they are. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree in that regard. But anyway, yeah, it's not going to go well for her in the future. Her reputation is, I don't think, for a long time will just be ruined, and she'll be very sorry. In the future, she'll be very sorry, because remember, this is her legal future. And, you know, in other ramifications as well. There are documents, communications. The letter card rules all communication. It's different than in the Lenormand you have, you know, the letter for written words and, you know, text, things like that, and documents as well. But you have the birds for verbal. In the Kipper, there's just this one card, and it's all communications. So this is all communications within her family, all family members, you know, and her, you know, Jared as well. And the foundation of her life, the real estate of her life. I don't think her and Jared are doing too well real estate-wise because of this card here. There's something here where they're tortured and worried about something. Something's very stressful, causing them serious problems. Sleepless nights. You know, again, this is the card like the Nine of Swords. And it knights up here to her. So she has some control over how much she'll worry, but this is hanging over her for a long time. It's going to go back and forth, and drive her nuts for a long time. And she's thinking about her fortune, and she's thinking about her children, her family. And what has been taken from her children and her any new real estate deals and new, you know, that new solid financial foundation of her life that she could have is you know, it's taken because of money in the past that she's mishandled. Now, of course, this would have to do with tax fraud. But I'm not seeing her. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she's as implicated as her brothers. What I do see, even though she's very worried, might be that one of her brothers or both are you know, asking her what's the best thing to do, because I'm sure they would look up to her as being probably the smarter one, if they're smart enough to recognize that. I don't know. But she does have, this would be her mother. This would be Ivana. And this is her father. But notice they're not facing each other, so they're not talking to each other. They're not, you know, that's done and buried. Ivanka is really worried about jail or being majorly restricted in the future. But she's been deceptive. Look at this line here. Of course she's been dishonest and deceptive. But now I'm not seeing her as implicated in, like with Don Jr. and Eric, more Don Jr. I could see that Don Jr. was definitely implicated in that. It looked to me anyway like that he was implicated in the January 6th issue. Eric is kind of maybe not so sure. I'm not seeing that here with her, but what I'm seeing here with her has to do with financial dealings and just her ability in the future to have the money that she wants. That will be very restricted. Very, very restricted. And then, I mean, we would love to see her father in jail. I mean, there's that very real possibility, and it's came through before. So, you know, and again, can he get away? What's interesting here that I'm not seeing here that I did see with both of her brothers is I'm not seeing that she's looking like trying to get out of Dodge. That's really interesting. We don't have the change card or the travel card, you know, the journey and the change are both the travel cards. We don't have the, you know, the card that shows the foreign relations, but we know that they have foreign ties. We know they have foreign ties, so that's no question about that. What is, you know, we have the court. The court official is different than the court, the actual like court card. This one has more to do with the investigation, and this is more to do with taxes. You know, like going before the IRS. And the IRS has their demands, and there's, you know, disputes. That's interesting. So this would be maybe somebody that helps her with a dispute. Her dishonesty has caused this, of course. But in her future, it's like this is just a sickening, you know, situation that worsens by the, you know, by the minute. And with this expectation card down here, you know, especially at this last card, which is often my answer card, this is the card of investigation. So both of these cards have to do with investigation. And this card has to do with meeting up and teamwork and networking and talking to other people. Of course, this would be her meetings with her father, her meetings working for her father, that she's going to, the demand will be on her to explain herself about these meetings and the documents and minutes of the meetings. You know, in corporations there's that has to, but then again, I don't know if she's a part of, I think it might just be her brothers that are that play the part in the Trump organization, but what she did for her father was to be his, you know, like senior administrative person. Forget the title, but It's like advisor to the president in senior official capacity that way. And, you know, he's right here. Her mother's helping her, trying. She's facing her. And you know she's like running home to mom. What do I do? You know. Anyway. But in her future, this could put her in a place where she's really, you know, it's like a dead end and a major obstacle. This prison card here, you know, I don't know if she's done enough to. I would hope she's done enough to be incarcerated, but I'm not sure. But there's this, like, the meetings with her father. That's what will be coming up. I have a feeling she's flipped already. She's flipped already, and she's probably given information over. Now, I don't think there can be too much immunity for her because, well, there can on some levels, but then on others, no, because, you know, we're dealing with the state of New York and taxes and, you know, what she's received and you know, the way she would keep from paying taxes that needed to be paid. Whatever she disclosed in on her tax documents, that's what she's going to be sorry about. Interesting. Okay, so let me close this up and use the deck of character cards. In case you haven't seen the other channels, it's this deck here, and you can look for it here at deckofcharacter.com, but it's out of print in the USA. Even though it's made in the USA, you're going to have to buy it from somebody in the UK and pay the shipping. But if you like it, it's probably totally worth it. Okay, so Ivanka's future. Her future, her actions. Okay, and the tools at her disposal and how she's going to use them. These are the slipperiest cards I think I've ever owned. Okay, and then the places that she may inhabit or go to in the future. The self, angsty teen, fairy, master, naked man, watchdog, and baby angel. Her cards up here for her, like, you know, the character reference on hers, they seem to be lighter than her brother's. Don Jr.'s was just amazingly awful. Whoa. Okay. Wow. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Well, so with the four corners here, she's definitely thinking big. She's thinking very, very big about herself and her place in the universe. And she might be very focused on literally like the happiness of her children. And she may be returning to a more innocent place within her to try and heal, because this is going to bring out, this whole situation is bringing out some teenage, adolescent issues that she needs to deal with, and it looks to me like she may grow from this gun here. It's probably, and with the broken heart, this whole. Wow, this I'm sure has to do with her father. Broken heart due to her father. And not that she's so innocent, but I feel like she's working with the universe trying to heal herself. She may be the fairy and the wings. Look at this row right here. Look at this angle. Universal, like maybe fairy godmother, the master, and trying to grow new wings. So this is all in her future. She's having her, you know, what some people would call a come to Jesus moment, because she's brokenhearted. So she's going around and with this maze here. I feel like she's going around and around. She's dealing with her, like where she should have rebelled against her father way back when. She may be going to places within where she, you know, because we don't know what it was like for her inside of her experience, and it's very possible that. She's revisiting those times when she was a teenager, and she's wishing she made a different decision. And she's working through that maze of the past. The pain, and why did I shoot myself in the foot? Why didn't I have myself? How interesting that her in the Kipper read, that her card was up here, and then here she is, like the self. She's working with her teenage self and her guides. I think she's working with her universal energies to try and heal her heart and travel to a more peaceful place. Right here in the center, there's that movement. She's trying to master her life, and there's some movement, and she's going to be punching. This is her father. He came through in I think it was Don Jr.'s reading. You know, I kept feeling it was like the emperor that has no clothes. And look how it knights down here, the broken heart. But she's up on top. Wow, we had some cats outside that are fighting. That's interesting. I've never heard that sound before. Okay, I mean, I've heard it before, but not here in this house. So anyway, the naked man that she wants to punch, in the future, she's going to be punching him. Yeah, because I think she already has flipped, honestly. And what she does have some control over is traveling to a more peaceful place. Even though, and I think this card was in the exact same position for, I think it was Don Jr.'s, where he had to go through this like narrow tunnel. But she's looking, this is really interesting, because she's looking at her like universal place in life and what she's done. And I think she's more in her inner rhythm. The watchdog can be just like the dog in the Lenormand, which is a very helpful friend and protective force in a person's life. So she's trying to protect her children, and she's looking closely at that. I'm feeling like the image of, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Well, actually, I've got it in a couple of decks here. I'm feeling like this is the Ten of Cups, like this card, the happy family. She's thinking of, what about the, my happy family, the future of her family. That's what she's really focused on. But in the future, I think she can have that because I think she's gonna stick it to the man, literally, because she's just done. She's done. Wow. So she may have some freedom to express herself. This is going to be really interesting to look at Jared's reading, see what comes through there. The dancing shoes can be some kind of freedom there, and maybe the naked man is Jared as well. Wow. Because his broken heart could have more to do. Well, it could be on all levels. When you have an awful father like that, you wouldn't marry the right guy. You just wouldn't, because that's how it works. Until we heal our relationship with our parents, we marry them. We partner up with them to help us heal, to help us become aware become conscious of our patterns within that need to heal. So anyway, these are not bad cards at all for the future, but there's this narrow tunnel she has to go through, and she's going to punch her way out of it, and she's going to hurt the guy that hurt her. What a trip. Well, I'll make sense though. But I feel like she's got some mastery coming in here. The broken heart will be behind her, and she's going to travel to a more peaceful place. I don't know if this means actually like relocating to where she can have that happy family. I don't know if she would want that, considering, women's rights in different countries. But who knows? Maybe it's different, like in Morocco or some of these other countries. I have no idea. I'm not the world traveler at all. USA, yeah, a couple of places in the Caribbean. That's been it. So anyway, I don't see anything else to say about these cards. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up. Thank you for watching, and take good care, you guys.